Customers today expect truly personalized, connected experiences across any channel. However, organizations can't deliver these connected customer journeys due to siloed systems across sales, marketing, and customer service. This results in the customer receiving misaligned messages from various teams, leading to frustration and dissatisfaction. Microsoft Copilot breaks down those silos with next-generation AI, helping your sales, marketing, and service teams know your customer and deliver a contextualized experience at every touchpoint. With Dynamics 365's customer experience solutions, you can acquire more customers, close more deals, and resolve issues faster. Your data analysts can find new insights in your customer data using Copilot, and your marketers can easily segment target audiences, generate personalized content, and build a tailored customer journey. Your sales team can improve customer engagement and build trust using Copilot to generate a meeting preparation guide containing relevant customer data points. Sellers can also reduce time spent on manual tasks with generated, personalized email responses right in the flow of work. Your customer service teams can easily address customer issues with Copilot, allowing them to resolve cases faster than before. Each interaction is fed back into the customer profile, keeping everyone on your team on the same page. Microsoft Copilot provides every customer-facing employee in-the-moment, actionable insights, boosts their productivity and effectiveness, and empowers them to create personalized customer experiences together.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. I'm Angela Byers, Senior Director of Product Marketing for Customer Experience Solutions at Microsoft. A recent study by McKinsey shows just how important customer experience is to business performance. Specifically, they studied a correlation between company CX ratings and their top-line revenue growth, and the results are striking. Companies with high CX ratings achieve 2 times greater revenue growth compared to companies with low CX ratings over the course of a 5-year period. But delivering a great customer experience is harder than ever because customers' expectations are higher than ever. 54% of customers believe that most companies are not delivering great customer experiences today. And 64% of them wish their companies would just respond faster to their changing needs. Overwhelmingly, customers are expecting personalized, consistent, and connected experiences throughout the customer journey and across channels. They want both digital experiences to self-educate, as well as those human interactions that are engaging and meet them where they're at. And there is a cost for not meeting these expectations. 32% of customers say they would walk away from a brand they love with just one bad experience. People are key to delivering great customer experiences. But unfortunately, most employees are not equipped to deliver on those outcomes. Our research shows 3 themes. Well, first, teams and data are siloed and disconnected. In fact, 64% of employees say fragmented tools and processes make it hard for them to collaborate. And with limited insights, employees have to be just reactive to customer needs. Over 70% of sellers want to embrace AI tools to help them proactively identify sales opportunities, get those competitive insights, and customer-centric recommendations. And a third theme is that manual and repetitive tasks just takes away energy and time away from delivering great customer experiences. 80% of marketers want to embrace AI tools to help them create the first drafts of all of their marketing collaterals, so they can focus their creativity on top of that. More than ever than before, organizations really need digital tools and platforms that help their people do more with less, so that they can efficiently solve today's problems and innovate for the future. At Microsoft, we believe that delivering great customer experiences starts with the foundation of having a 360 view of the customer from every role at every touch point. Then marketing, sales, and service can truly be connected. They each understand how the others have interacted with the customer so far and how the customers have engaged with different channels. And with Copilot, bringing the power of large language models with business and customer data, workflows, knowledge inside and outside the organization, democratizes the ability to deliver a more contextualized journey for every customer, by every marketer, by every seller, and by every customer service agent. How do we do that with our technology? Well, Dynamics 365 Sales, our end-to-end sales CRM, Dynamics 365 Customer Insights, that includes both customer data platform and journey orchestration, and Dynamics 365 Customer Service, our full-powered customer service automation app, are all built on Dataverse, a powerful unified data platform across all of our business applications that enables connected data, actionable insights, and customer engagement in the flow of work. Organizations can build and extend these business applications with Power Platform to customize to their specific needs. And Copilot is woven throughout these apps and experiences to automate away the mundane tasks for end users, create the first drafts of content, so really making hyper-personalization at scale possible, and recommending actions based on deeply understanding and even anticipating customer needs. So in this session, you're going to hear from our product leaders talking about the latest innovations in each of these products. Then stay with us and continue in our discussion panel right after this to engage directly with our engineers to talk architecture, security, compliance, and extensibility. I'm going to kick us off with the first one. Yesterday at Ignite, we announced Microsoft Copilot for Sales, the AI assistant designed for sellers. It brings the power of Copilot for Microsoft 365 with seller-specific insights and workflows to help sellers save time and energy, generate more new ideas, build stronger customer relationships, and close more deals faster. This will be available in the first quarter of 2024 for $50 per user per month. Copilot for Sales is the next evolution of Sales Copilot, which has already been helping many sellers at many organizations, including our own sellers at Microsoft. We recently surveyed them, and 83% of them say that the tool is helping them be more productive. As a result, 67% of them say that they are now able to spend more time with customers, doing what they love. With that, I would like to introduce Aaron Bjork, our product leader for Microsoft Copilot for Sales, and Bruce Sanchez from Dell Technologies, who's been using this tool and is going to tell you about some of the things they learned in their IT implementation.
All right, thanks, Angela. Bruce, we are so excited that you could join us.
Yeah.
You have been or Dell has been one of our earliest, biggest, and best customers of Sales Copilot. Can you just tell us a little bit about how Dell has put Sales Copilot to work for their sellers?
Can do. Well, hello to everyone in the room. Good afternoon. Hello to the global audience dialing in. I'm Bruce Sanchez, as Aaron already mentioned. I'm a part of a large team at Dell that's modernizing and transforming our sales experience. So that's me, my handsome mug up on the screen there. Let's talk about what we're actually doing. So Dell Technologies, one of the largest technology companies in the world, and the very first place you start in working with us is scale. You know, there's a lot of zeros up on those numbers there, and you know, start to think, who should we pick for a platform? Where do we build? And Microsoft was a clear and obvious choice. First of all, when you look at this marketplace, business applications for sales, there's hundreds of vendors, hundreds of solutions. Everybody's got their niche. But when you start to scale, you start to narrow the pack pretty quickly. And when you start to take a look at depth of bench, technical innovation, a culture of innovation, and all the leading generative AI applications we need, Microsoft became a very clear choice. We've been driven by a North Star that's embodied in this account executive named Linda. We painted this picture for our sales leaders. Linda's on her way to a meeting with a customer, Athena Chemicals. She gets to the parking lot and she turns off her car. As we look through our data fabric at that point, what do we know about Linda? We know a ton. We know who she's meeting with, what she's selling them, who's she competing with. And we envision this experience where, using all of that data, we instantaneously provided to Linda material information that would help her improve the outcome of her business meeting. And so in this case, this was a mock-up. We said, hey, we can see that you've got 36 minutes to go to your meeting. Here's who you're meeting with. And we provided a short-form video on messaging. And so this notion of real-time, contextual, and relevant information has been absolutely the anchor for our work on transforming our sales experience. And so over the course of the last 3 years, driven by this vision, we've partnered with Dell Digital, that's our IT team, and Microsoft to build up this accretive value, stack by stack, world-class platforms, Viva, Copilot, Azure, Microsoft 365, where Salesforce shop, Edcast for learning, this building brick by brick. I like to think of it as a wall, and every time we added a brick to that wall, we improved the seller experience. And it's all headed towards this notion of the digital-first enabled seller, where our sellers are digital natives, they're engaged in digital commerce, they collaborate with real people, they're online, and they're being a very facile member of that world. And Sales Copilot is one of the last linchpins here. To deliver Linda, you need real-time data streams, you need triggers, and you need contextual information in-app. And so that's why we were so excited about it. And like any sales initiative, you have to keep an eye on the bottom line. That's true at Dell, but it's particularly true at sales. We're very numbers driven. And so when I take a look at what we're trying to achieve, these are the 5 principles. I'm proud to share with you on stage today that we are hitting all of those value buckets and exceeding our targets, which has just been great. And rather than walk through this theoretically, why don't I show you a demo of what we've built? I'm going to show you our production system in action, but we're going to use fictitious data. So I won't be exposing any privacy, but you'll see what our sellers actually see. So here's Sales Copilot. This is, let's start in Outlook. The experience comes in this left pane here, and there's really 2 areas. Let's look at the first, which is this direct connection into Salesforce. So our sellers were doing swivel chair. They had to move back and forth between apps, and now Salesforce is fully revealed in their Outlook and in their Teams experience as well. You can see a contact that I've been working with, Jill, the opportunities that Jill's associated with, the accounts that she's associated with. Super easy to navigate. I can save emails to Salesforce. Highlights is where the cognitive services and the OpenAI starts to show up. Notice that Sales Copilot has recognized there's a new contact here. It's suggesting I add them to Salesforce. There's an email intelligence part of the application. We'll dive into that. This is a great feature. This is a very long email thread with Jill, and it summarized that for me. I can copy, save that summary to Salesforce, send it to a colleague. Keywords act as triggers. We'll see that in a minute. And finally, I can collaborate with teams, both with Jill and my colleagues. So really, this very smooth and seamless experience. Let's go to email intelligence. I have a number of choices I can make. I can summarize a sales meeting I had with Jill, but I'm going to reply to an inquiry. So Sales Copilot reads the email. It goes and actually looks at Salesforce, puts together something for me. It's OK. It's not great usually the first time around. So I can adjust its tone. I can say, make it a little more friendly. I want to propose a meeting to Jill. And I also want to position positive return on investment for Jill, ROI. So I hit the button again, and up comes a much more robust email. A little more friendly in tone, positions positive benefits. Ask for a meeting. Notice it understood what our return on investment was, ROI. I can hit copy content, paste in the email, and off we go. So super time savings for our sellers. One of the other things I really like about it is it's also integration with other parts of the suite. You can see early on, Jill asked me for some information. Let's go take a look at Viva Insights. It actually reads through the email and finds Viva topics that are relevant to this interaction. If I don't know what Live Optics is, Jill asked me to send her some information. I need to do a little bit of a refresher. There's an adaptive card on Live Optics directly in the email. I can read that, catch up on it, et cetera. So let's move to conversational intelligence. Here's a Teams meeting that I had with Jill. You can see the recording down on the bottom. I can hit the play button and the recording will play back for me, helps me remember. There's sentiment. I have a rich transcript that I can see from that call. It's highlighted some points of the meeting, and more importantly, it's found where I made some promises. So I told Jill I'd send her a budgetary quote. I can create a task, and off I go. Mentions are the extraction of all the keywords, the themes of the calls, et cetera. You can see there's the questions that were asked for me, by me and of me. There's Viva Topics, again, directly in the UI, so I have this rich information source. I can also use the keywords that were found to clue me into parts of the conversation. So if I want to find out what Jill asked me when she talked about her data scientist, I can do that. And then details, it brings up a quality of the conversation. What was my talk-to-listen ratio? Did I interrupt my customer? Did I pause? And this all turns into this massively rich data stream where we now have a window into our interactions with our sellers and their customers. I purposely obscured the numbers here, but here's our conversational intelligence, a view of customer sentiment, the number of appointments we've had, top words that we've been using. So fabulous view into what was previously pretty hidden area. I now can bring all of that into a rich data source. So finally, I mentioned our partnership with Dell Digital. You know, nothing happens in our world without great support from IT. We're very proud to be partnering with Dell Digital. I thought I'd share with you some of their best practices. So first of all, they truly understand the notion of business partnership. You know, our world is changing. They need to evolve. They need to adapt as we go forward. Very rigorous governance, particularly when it comes to compliance, privacy, security. We play by the rules. We make sure our data is secure. The product model promotes quality, and our culture of innovation really gives freedom to teams, empowers them to experiment, to change, to evolve. Data as a service is absolutely that value flow. You think about the bloodstream of what produces value. It is that real-time, always-on view into the customer interaction. And then finally, we participate with Dell Digital in a number of the Microsoft forums, so we're always looking ahead. We're thinking where we can add additional value for our users. And with that, I'm going to turn it back to Aaron. Oh, real quick, I forgot to mention one real quick thing, sorry, Aaron. We have packaged these up as professional services. Dell Technologies has a booth upstairs. If you'd like to come visit us and learn about how you might apply some of these things, you can do that. We're in the hub, booth number 603.
Awesome.
Back to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Bruce.
Cheers. Thank you.
Amazing to see what Dell's done. Again, one of our first, biggest, and most engaged customers, and we're thrilled with the advancements and improvements they're making to their sales cycle with Copilot, Sales Copilot, and all the Viva tools and things they've engaged in. Now, as we move forward, I want to shift the conversation to Microsoft Copilot for Sales. So we just saw Sales Copilot. We're now going to look at Copilot for Sales. As Angela mentioned, Copilot for Sales is the next evolution of Sales Copilot. Same words, different order. And it's not just a different order. The beauty here is that Copilot for Sales now includes Copilot for Microsoft 365. So it comes with the Copilot that sits in all of the M365 apps that you've heard about all week here and has been announced and is GA. And so I want to walk through sort of how that will work and show you some examples. So the first example is what we call the contextual sidecar. I think Bruce just demoed that really, really well in terms of how Dell is using that. That's that sidecar that shows up always in context, you know, brings in the CRM enrichment, allows you to access your CRM, again, whether that's Dynamics or Salesforce. You can make record updates there. You can make changes. We'll be making recommendations. So a lot of great curated content right in that sidecar. Of course, then there's also what we call chat or natural language. That means you'll have a Copilot right in each of these apps where you can essentially interact with the application and the content that you're working with. Copilot for Sales will integrate directly in here. So you'll be able to essentially ask questions of your CRM directly from this surface area rather than having to switch context and go back out. And then the final one is what we call embedded AI. This is where we will bring rich AI-driven experiences directly into the content area in the app that you're working in. So imagine this would be in the context of an email here in Outlook, and of course it will show up in other places in the other apps. Now everything that you've seen here is all in the context of Outlook, but the beauty of what Microsoft Copilot for Sales bring to the table is that we're not just doing this in Outlook. This is happening across all of the M365 applications. And our goal is really to make this entire suite speak sales. We want to make M365 a primary work surface for sellers where they can stay connected to their customers, keep their CRM up to date, leverage all of those insights that Copilot is providing, and really keep sellers in the flow of work. We're very excited about that. Now let me show you a few quick examples. Moving on, I want to unpack a couple of those. This is a picture of an Outlook email summary provided by Copilot for Microsoft 365. So this is in the standard Copilot that you would get. You see you get a great email summary provided right here in line. Now you'll notice that Bruce showed in his demo that Copilot for Sales, or Sales Copilot as it was before, had it over here on the right-hand side. So I want to reassure you, you're not going to get duplicative email summaries or anything like that. As we integrate, we're essentially blending those experiences. So Copilot for M365 becomes the foundation, and then Copilot for Sales sits in and weaves sales-specific enrichment directly into that summary. So you'll see in 1 and 2 that we've now got a richer summary because it's been enhanced with information from the connected CRM, again, whether that's Dynamics or Salesforce. And of course, the sidecar still sits here to help you keep the CRM up to date and interact there as needed. Now in Teams, we'll follow a very similar example. This is a picture of a Teams meeting recap that comes with the M365 Copilot. You can see that you get a great recap. You get some suggested tasks and whatnot. And then when we bring Copilot for Sales in, you'll see that the same content kind of stays there, but it now is enriched and enhanced. So it's a single experience. Again, as a seller, you're not having to choose which Copilot to use. It's just one Copilot. And then finally, here's an example of word content generation. In this case, you can see right at the top at number 1 there, you get a prompt that says draft with Copilot. In that prompt, you'll actually have IntelliSense, which will bring to you opportunities, accounts, and again, information from your connected instance of your CRM. And then in number 2, we work with the Copilot then to sort of build the content that you need, and again, create a great draft. This is a meeting preparation scenario, but we'll have lots of other sort of scenarios as well. Okay, so with all that in mind, the next thing I want to just share with you is that the beauty of what's happening with Copilot for Sales and Copilot for M365 is it's not just limited to the data in the M365 graph or the data in your CRM. We have extensibility here as well. So there's kind of 3 extensibility points that I want to make. First and foremost, you can obviously configure Copilot for Sales to work with your CRM. We support custom fields, we support custom workflows. We know that every CRM in the world is highly customized and highly configured, and we've got that already built in and ready to go. The second one is that you can enhance the Copilot with information from other data sources. So this is where you can build power connectors and use custom add-ins to really bring data from third-party sources. You might be working with a sales enablement tool. You might have data in a custom database inside your organization. You can build connectors where you bring all that data into the Copilot and make it available in all these experiences. And then finally, with Copilot Studio and with Power Connectors, we're really allowing you to create your own skills, if you will. And that's very, very important to make sure you can tailor the Copilot to the needs of your sellers and your workflows. This is a quick sort of view of a bunch of partners we're working with. We've announced a bunch of these partnerships this week, and we're excited about how this will continue to grow. If any of you are excited about this or interested, please come find me afterwards. I'd love to talk about extensibility points and things that we could do with you together. Okay, so we've looked at Microsoft Copilot for Sales. Remember, this is our offering, which is about keeping sellers in the flow of work in the M365 productivity tools. I want to quickly switch to Dynamics 365 Sales and show you how Copilot is showing up directly in our core CRM offering. So kind of following the pattern that you saw before, we sort of have 2 patterns here. The first is what we would call chat or natural language. It's about asking questions of the CRM. And then finally, we have a rich embedded surface area where we have a ton of embedded AI. So let me quickly walk through that for you. First, this is a picture of that sort of chat sidecar surface area. And I won't sort of explain the whole thing because I think it's fairly self-explanatory. But think of this is also that contextual sidecar where you can interact with the CRM in a new way. There's a bunch of curated content that comes for you. So when you open up a contact, an account, or an opportunity, out of the box, we provide a summary for you right there. But then you can go deeper and further by using natural language prompts and chat to sort of interact. So you can ask questions. You know, how far along are we with this account? What's the budget that we have? What products might be recommended based on this opportunity? And of course, the Copilot will bring all that back to you. Now, moving beyond that, we're also working on a brand new surface area. We call this our immersive home. But it's really a new way to sort of navigate and interact with your CRM. So think of sort of your traditional navigation pattern today in an app. You've got a set of entities down the left-hand side, like the nav panel. and you would pick where you want to work. So I want to go look at accounts. I want to look at contacts. I want to look at leads. The beauty of this experience is stretching across all of them. So it allows you to start with a chat window and a set of curated prompts and really start to build the data that you need. So I could, for example, ask the Copilot, show me my pipeline, and it'll bring back you that rich pipeline, build the interactions and the graphics here right for you on screen, and even allow you to interact with it. And then, of course, there's curated prompts that allow you to go further. So we could say, hey, go ahead and summarize all these sales records, and it brings all that data back to you. So the idea is to provide a richer and more informative starting point for sellers. We expect that as you go forward, you'll eventually land in those traditional entities and objects. But we think that we'd rather have sellers start in a place where instead of having to find where they need to go, you can much more direct them, and they can direct themselves based on the content and the information that we have in the system. Okay. So I know that was a bit of a whirlwind, but some examples of ways we're bringing Copilot directly into the M365 surface area for sellers and also into Dynamics. I now want to turn it over to Jayme Nakashima, and he's going to walk through how Copilot is showing up in D365 Customer Insights.
Great. Awesome.
Thanks, Jim.
Thanks, Aaron. That was awesome. I'm excited to be here. I'm Jayme Nakashima. I lead the product development group for Customer Insights. And Customer Insights is a couple things, actually. It's two things. It's a customer data platform that allows you to bring your data together. And then it's a customer journey orchestration platform that allows you to take action on that data, to engage with your customers at scale with automation. So before I get into that, I'll talk a little bit more about that. What I'd like to do is actually start with a video of one of our customers, a company called Team Rubicon. And Team Rubicon does amazing work with disaster recovery, disaster response, and crisis management. And we're very lucky to be partnering with them, with Customer Insights, to help make the world really a better place. So let's have a look.
Team Rubicon is a veteran-led humanitarian organization that helps people and communities before, during, and after disasters and crises.
When we think about serving more people, and that being our North Star, technology is a main driver for that.
What's unique about technology now is it's helping me make better decisions based on what's happened, based on what's happened currently, and it also helps me to shape our future decisions.
We use Microsoft products to help organize our volunteers, manage our operations, report back on what we're doing and the impact that we're having.
So Customer Insights gives us a window into who we can communicate with, what's going to engage them or get them excited about that moment, and then move them in this journey from turning them into a potential volunteer to a gray shirt that's having direct impact on survivors.
It allows us to move quickly, to move effectively, to move efficiently. That's what sets us apart. And those three elements are really important in disaster response. The more time you wait, the more people suffer.
So a disaster strikes, and in a moment's notice, we have to get people going. And Customer Insights allows us to identify the right volunteers with the right skills in the right location and get them to the field as quickly as possible.
As an organization where all of our programs are carried out by volunteers, it's really important that we're engaging them at the right level. And Copilot and Customer Insights, we can get really targeted.
I can understand the volunteer and what they want to do. I can understand where they are and things like that. I can begin to understand, their satisfaction in that moment with what they've done. And probably most importantly, I can communicate to all of them what a difference they've made.
Customer Insights really helps build a better, stronger, more positive experience. That journey is really important, and the more seamless, the more effective that experience is, the better our opportunity is to build relationships with all of those audiences that we're interacting with.
Thank you. Yeah, it's such a great video. And I will say personally, for me and for the team, it brings a new definition of the term mission critical in real time. Like, we're talking real time. And it matters because it matters to people. But taking a step back, I wanted to take a step back and talk a little bit more about and set some context around what Customer Insights is. I mentioned before it's two things. So let me drill into each. The first is that it's a customer data platform. And what that means is across all of your enterprise or your company, you have many different sources of customer data. And that data can be fragmented and dispersed across many different sources. And Customer Insights allows you to bring that all together, map, match, and merge it all into a single record for each customer, which isn't easy. And in fact, we apply AI and rules and other things to make that happen. Microsoft, internally, we use Customer Insights with 45 sources of data. And some of our customers, honestly, have well over 100 different sources of customer data to bring together. But it doesn't just stop at bringing that data together and unifying it into these profiles. What we do then is enrich those profiles. So you have a profile, and we're going to add data based on the data that's there. So it could be things like filling gaps in information, like address information based on credit card data. Or it could be things like having a signal that this customer is going to have an affinity towards these particular brands. And so we enrich that. We have first and third-party sources that we use to enrich that data. From there, we then run predictions. So things like lifetime value, things like recommendations and likelihood to churn. And we add that into the profile as well. Now you've got these profiles that not only have all your data, but the enriched and predicted set of data that Customer Insights can bring to you. With that, now you want to go do something with them. You don't want them just hanging around, right? You want to go do something. You want to act. You want to take action. You want to improve your business, or you want to improve the outcomes that you have in terms of, say, disaster response or something. And from there, what we do is we have customer journey orchestration. And so it allows you to segment. It allows you to send to ad providers. It allows you to send across many channels. It could be mobile channels, it could be web, it could be email, and it allows you to personalize the experience across every single touch point that you have and have each touch point improve upon the last. Okay, so those are the two things. They are independently adoptable, but they obviously work together really well, or well, as we say, better together. So now I'm going to jump into, with that context set, I'm going to jump into my first announcement. I've got a series of announcements here that I'm very excited about. The first is with a partnership we have with Optimizely. And Optimizely and Customer Insights are coming together to provide amazing real-time web personalization experiences. And Optimizely is one of our global ISVs that is an absolute leader in experimentation and digital experience platforms. And so the amazing thing about this collaboration is that you can personalize your website based on any individual who's coming through it, not only based on what is happening within Optimizely, within the website, the web interactions, but also based on that profile data that I actually just mentioned. And with that together, you can do that without having to leave the Optimizely UI. You get both the ability to personalize within the UI without writing code, and the ability for all those interactions to shuttle over to Customer Insights and improve your profiles as well. So let's take a quick look at a scenario. It goes by quick, but here we go. The customer comes in, they're unknown, they fill out their email address to get a 15% or 10% off coupon. There's the profile from Customer Insights. It starts getting populated based on things that they're doing, things that they tell us. And that profile and the interactions are used to personalize an email to that customer. Personalized emails have far higher engagement rates because it's relevant to them. You're not just looking for the unsubscribe, right? I know I'm looking for it if it's not relevant to me. Now, after they click in and through to the website, that is also personalized. And it can be personalized based on those enrichments, those predictions, and in real time based on interactions. So you get the right experience right in front of them on that web page. And it can be based on things like lifetime value. So you're giving a different experience to your high-value customers. But it doesn't stop there. Because remember, I said all those interactions are then shuttled over to Customer Insights, and then you can engage across every other channel, mobile and email as well, so that your engagement with customers is multi-channel and omni-channel and not just siloed between channels as well. So we're really excited about this partnership. This is public preview here in about a month, and we're just getting started. Optimizely's been a terrific company to work with, and watch the space, because there's more to come. Okay, I'm going to switch gears now to our Copilot innovation and some announcements that I have around this. And this is our Copilot in Customer Insights. This is included as part of Customer Insights. It's not a separate thing. It's actually just included. Now, we have 10 Copilot features publicly available today. Our first Copilot feature came long before it was called Copilot and long before anybody knew what the letters G, P, and T would be doing together. A lot has changed since then. So it kind of spans the gamut of content creation to insights and segmentation. One of my favorite features I'm not going to show you today, but is being able to chat with data. And so you can ask your Copilot a number of different questions like, how many bar owners in New York are serving Campari or something like that, and it will answer you. And so whether or not you're an expert in data or you're not, you can actually get those answers either because you didn't know how, but now you can, or because you're able to just save a whole bunch of time. Segments can be created just in everyday words, and journeys can be created just by describing them. So that kind of runs the gamut and gives you an idea of where we're at in our Copilot journey. But let me get to the announcements. The first announcements is content ideas. And content ideas allows you to say some key points that you want to make in email and gives you a set of suggestions on great ways to actually say that. I have a tag phrase. It's get to your best content faster. And it's now GA, generally available worldwide. It used to only be available in the US, so we're really happy to get that out worldwide. And we have added support for an additional 7 languages as well. We've made a couple other updates around adding tone and the ability to recommend key points to make as well. And so we're excited about what's happening there. Available in public preview today are 2 features. One is Style Assist. Now, creating styles, that's just pure laborious work, right? Like you're going into your email editor and maybe you have a campaign style or your global style or microsite style you need to match. And that's just filling out headings and button styles, and it's painful. But with Copilot, you can just ask the Copilot to do that, send it off to a website, microsite, campaign site, and it will automatically create those styles for you right within Customer Insights. And then we have Content Rewrite, and Content Rewrite allows you to select any text in any channel that you're sending it on. So it could be email, it could be push, SMS, whatever, forms. And when you select that text, you can just say rewrite, and you can make it longer, you can make it shorter, you can change the tone, you can just improve this, make it better. So we're excited about that one as well. Again, getting to your best content faster. OK, so next up, Journey Creator. And I mentioned this a little bit already, but now you can see it in action. It allows you to describe what your journeys want to be. And so you can describe a very multi-step journey as well, which again is laboriously a lot of clicks. But in this case, the Copilot will go ahead and create it for you. And this is now generally available worldwide as well. Well, OK, one caveat, it'll be next month. But we're just about there in terms of worldwide general availability. Documentation Copilot, I love this one. Actually, it's in public preview today. And what it does is it actually looks across a rich data set. So it's not actually documentation alone. We have troubleshooting guides, we have release plans, we have how-to blogs. We have actually a wealth of data at our disposal that isn't easy to make available publicly. And in addition to the documentation. Now, you can just chat with the Copilot and start asking questions like, hey, what are common kind of match issues that I might encounter and things like that. And it will actually surf across all these different articles, and it will summarize across those articles, and it'll link. It'll provide 3, 4 links of where you can go to get more information, but it does the work for you. And I just think it's super helpful to learn how to do things. OK, one of the things that we have, and Angela mentioned this earlier, is this unified platform. And this is a real differentiator for us because all of our apps are built upon that same data platform. And there's real value in that in terms of sales and marketing, because anything that you have happening in sales and marketing or marketing is directly reflected in real time to the other department. Excuse me, I had to clear my throat. So one of the things that we're announcing, generally available today, is the ability to automatically route to sales from marketing based on signals that you define or a lead score. And when you do that, it uses the routing rules that are in Dynamics 365 Sales that you've already set up. And so it could be things like capacity of the seller, it could be region, it could be other attributes of the deal that you actually want to send along. and it'll get that lead onto the seller's plate inside sales right away. But that's great, and that's a start. But what you really need is also the ability for that seller to be armed with all the best information that they can be armed with in order to close the deal. And I mentioned these profiles before. They're unified, enriched, predicted. And they have so much information for the seller. But I'll tell you, if we put our full profile screen in front of a seller, they will be overwhelmed. There's just way too much information going on. So what we're doing is we're using generative AI to summarize all that information to the most relevant information, to the information that includes things like interests and affinities and propensities, and as well things like, hey, do they actually have a price sensitivity? Because we can determine that from the signal in the data and then summarize it out to that seller right where they're working inside Dynamics 365 Sales. Now, as excited as I am about all those announcements and the features that we have coming, I'm also really excited about the real-world impact that we're having, and not with just Team Rubicon, but there's Campari and Northrop & Johnson and Leatherman, a couple football or soccer clubs, as we like to say, with NC Fusion and Valencia FC, University of South Florida, that are all using these capabilities and realizing value and coming back to us and saying, hey, this is amazing. It's saving us time, and it's allowing our people to do more than they've ever been able to do before, both in terms of capability and workload. So with that, I'm going to hand it back here to Angela to close things out for us.
To empower every person and every organization to achieve more. And so hopefully you saw in this session, in the customer experience space, it means empowering your organization to deeply understand your customers, personalize every interaction, and leverage data and AI to empower your employees. We work with thousands of groups around the globe. Today, you saw very large multinational organizations like Dell, and all the way to local and government entities and nonprofit like Team Rubicon. We work with so many companies across industries, geographies, and time zones to help them deliver exceptional customer experiences. To date, we already have 130,000 organizations using Copilot capabilities in Dynamics 365 and Power Platform. And they're seeing great benefits: productivity improvements, greater employee satisfaction, greater customer satisfaction. We are passionate about taking the potential of AI and turning that data into actionable insights, breaking down the silos that traditionally exist across marketing, sales, and customer service, and really helping every organization elevate experiences for their customers and their employees. So if you have questions or feedback, stay behind or join us at our panel at 2:45, or find us at the expert meetup at the hub on the 5th floor. Be sure to check out the session's Microsoft Learn official collection for key resources you don't want to miss. And stay up to date with us on our latest innovations and announcements through the Dynamics 365 blog. Well, on behalf of Aaron, Bruce, Jim, and myself, thank you so much for your time today, and have a great rest of your night.